Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Engineer Gaming, and this is our first of a series of character guides for Evolve, and we're going to be covering Griffin for this first one to help give edge for the Trapper Challenge that's going to be going on this weekend. Now, since this is the first one, I'm going to go over a little bit of the structure of how we're going to be doing it. First, I'm going to show both the basic and advanced tutorial videos that you can find in the actual game. Then we're going to go over the stuff that we want to talk about, such as the suggested perks that we like to use, equipment stats, and advanced tactics that we like to use as Griffin.
Griffin is the trapper. He hunts down and traps the monster. Sound spikes can detect a nearby monster. An icon will appear on the HUD. Hold the fire button to stop the monster's movement with the Harpoon Gun. When the monster brings the fight, use the submachine gun to do some damage. Remember to use the mobile arena. Plant your sound spikes as you move through the environment. Choke points and feeding grounds are often the best locations. Once you have the monster trapped in the mobile arena, hide and defend yourself until backup arrives. If you go down, so does the mobile arena. After you deploy the mobile arena, plant a sound spike so your damage dealers can locate the monster and close in for the kill. In combat, keep the monster between yourself and your teammates. A well-placed harpoon can stop a charging monster dead in its tracks and save the lives of your fellow hunters. Wait until the monster notices the harpoon cable, then release the trigger before he can break it. This will start the reload a fraction of a second sooner. By the time the monster has recovered, you should be ready to harpoon it again. Your submachine gun should only be used when a sound spike has been placed, and there's no need for a harpoon. The submachine gun deals little damage, so aim for the monster's head or weak points in its armor.
Alright, next up we have the equipment. Griffin's Gauss SMG will do 21 damage base, and once you have the mastery fully leveled up, it'll do 23.1 damage. Its fire rate is 450 rounds per minute, its capacity is 36 rounds, and it has an approximate reload speed of about 2 seconds. His next piece of equipment is his Harpoon Gun, which will do 150 damage if you hit with, and its maximum range is 50 meters base, and then 55 with max mastery, and has a reload of approximately 4 to 5 seconds. Lastly is his sound spikes. It has a 50 meter detection radius base, and then 55 again with max masteries, and you can have up to 5 of them placed in the world at a time. Now that all that stuff's out of the way, we'll be moving on to the actual strategy of Griffin, starting with perk selection. Our most preferred perk is Quick Switch, then Reload Speed, and then lastly Jetpack Recharge. The reason we prefer Quick Switch the most is because it allows for the most effective way to dome the monster, allowing you to throw the mobile arena and then switch to the Harpoon Gun and stop the monster from escaping before the dome is called down, as you can see in the following clips.
Gotcha now! Your ass, rat! That's a set! Toss an applique! You die well, Dragon! Send in the cord! Arena's incoming! Hold that thing still! Big gun's still charging!
Our next preferred perk is Reload Speed. You want to use this if you don't have as hard a time doming the monster and you like to give off as many harpoons as possible in as quickly as amount of time. And it also is good for keeping the monster from escaping once the dome comes down, as you can see in this clip. Lastly, we have Jetpack Recharge. This is for those that aren't quite as focused on the Harpoon Guns. This will allow you to be a lot more mobile in the dome, and you can essentially gain more ground quicker, dodge incoming attacks, and keep other damage on while trying to stay alive to keep the dome up longer. Now, we don't have a clip for this perk because we still prefer and strongly recommend you use the other two over this one. We're just offering this as a possible third one for whatever reason you don't want to use the other two. Now moving on to our actual gameplay strategies for Griffin. The first thing you do when you get out of the dropship is you want to look for a good elevated spot to place your sound spike so no wildlife can hit it, and that'll help give you a good idea if the monster is just hanging around the very beginning of the map. You can also split off into two groups of two, one following the monster's tracks and the other one, including Griffin and someone else, going off in another direction to just get his sound spike array up, and then hopefully having your other group push the monster closer towards Griffin so we can cut him off with a dome. Now when you get to the point where you want to dome the monster, we highly recommend what we said before of throw the dome, then switch to the harpoon and stick the monster to help hold it back so it can't just use all of its stamina and get out right away. Also, as a side note, use your minimap to help spread out your sound spikes. If not that, at least look at your sound spike. They'll tell you how close you are to a previous one and how far your actual maximum range is, so you can use that to help gauge where you should place them to get the maximum effectiveness out of them. Now, when you actually get into a fight with Griffin, it's best to keep him kind of towards the back and have the monster's back towards you, because that'll make your harpoons more effective. Harpooning the back will actually slow the monster down, and he'll have to turn to break the harpoon, whereas if you were to harpoon the front, then he still has free reign of motion unless he was trying to walk backwards for some stupid reason, and he'll just charge right at you, and you'll end up breaking the harpoon once he hits you. It's also best to try and not draw aggro to yourself. If he is aggroing you, don't even bother with the harpoons. He'll break them as soon as you hit him, so just switch to your SMG to do off some damage, and then once he moves his attention to someone else, switch back to the harpoon to try and slow him down some more. Another element to being good as Griffin is knowing when to use the SMG and when to use the harpoon. If the monster has low on health with like 3 health bars or less, and he's not looking like he's going to run, or is in stage 3 fight, or he's domed, just switch to the SMG and just get off as much damage as possible. There's no real point in harpooning then. You'll just be able to kill him a lot quicker. Also, if he's got someone down, you just switch to the SMG. You want to deal as much damage as possible to scare the monster away so you can get the down person up. Now lastly, I want to talk about maps. Griffin is very good on small to medium maps. Using the sound spikes, you can cover about 75% of most of the maps. Now in the case of some of the bigger maps like Aviary, Wraith Trap, and Orbital Drill, his tracking isn't as effective because the maps are so large that you can't cover near as much with the sound spikes, so you might be better off going with a different trapper opposed to Griffin. Alright everyone, that is our class guide for Griffin. If you have any other tips that we didn't mention, feel free to post them in the comments. Also, let us know what you guys thought of our layout for the video. If you like some parts over the others, if you have any areas where you think we need improvements, let us know. Also, let us know what you guys want for the next character for us to do. Alright, thanks for watching.